Alaska used to be a world of frozen ice and bone-chilling winds, but now the ice is melting, the land is sinking, and the oceans are warming every day. Every living creature here, from the strongest animals to the smallest, faces the harsh challenge of survival, either adapt or disappear. These animals have existed for thousands of years, but now they are forced to undertake arduous journeys in search of hope. Alaska is the home of the strongest, toughest, biggest, and most intelligent creatures, and it is also where the greatest adventures take place. Every second, every minute, they fight to survive. Only those with the strength and intelligence to adapt will overcome this challenge, while those who cannot will only be a part of history. Join Wild Kingdom, animal documentary, to follow the captivating stories of the harsh wildlife of Alaska and uncover the hidden secrets of the animal world. Beneath the slowly melting ice, we see a harsh Alaska, where the struggle for survival of wildlife never stops. Every decade, the sea ice area of Alaska decreases by an average of 13%. The summer of 2023 recorded the lowest sea ice levels in history, according to NOAA reports, serving as a warning sign of the rapid changes in the Arctic ecosystem. Ice floes, once the shelter and hunting grounds for polar bears and seals, are slowly shrinking. These animals must travel farther, swim longer, and face increasingly scarce food sources. What was once considered immutable land is now crumbling. The temperature in Utqiagvik has risen by about 4 degrees Celsius compared to the average of the previous decade, according to data from AK Climate. The permafrost is melting, leaving deep holes in the ground, turning areas that were once stable into unpredictable sinkholes. Animals like caribou and musk oxen, once dependent on the vast tundra, now face the disappearance of plants, disrupting the balance of the ecosystem. Beneath the ocean's surface, another survival struggle is underway. Warmer seawater is disrupting the habitats of many fish and mollusk species. The survival struggle of Alaska's wildlife is no longer just about hunting or evading predators. It is a continuous chain of changes and adaptations, and without them, these species face the risk of extinction. This survival journey is becoming increasingly tense, not only because of nature, but also due to human activity. Alaska is the largest state in the United States, covering an area of 665,000 square miles, yet its population accounts for less than 1% of the total population of the U.S. This is a place where nature remains wild and majestic, where the continents of Asia, Europe, and North America meet, witnessing the migration of the first peoples. About 15,000 to 20,000 years ago, the first groups of people crossed the Beringia Land Bridge, a natural link between Siberia and North America, paving the way for the formation of Alaska's indigenous communities today. Their traces still exist in the mountains and valleys, a testament to their resilience as they overcame harsh weather conditions and rugged terrain. Over centuries, Alaska became a target for powerful nations. In 1867, the land was sold to the United States for just $7.2 million, a transaction many considered a great mistake by William H. Seward. However, beneath the ice and rock, Alaska hid a treasure trove of priceless natural resources, and it was this that proved the true value of that purchase. By 1959, Alaska officially became the 49th state of the United States. The oil industry grew rapidly, transforming this frozen land into a major economic and geopolitical hub, like an invaluable treasure gradually being uncovered beneath the ice. Alaska, located in the northwest corner of North America, is where 3 oceans meet: the Arctic Ocean to the north, the Pacific Ocean to the west and south, and Canada to the east. This unique geographic location creates a wonderful diversity of climates, from freezing polar regions to temperate southern areas, where the Pacific Ocean profoundly influences the weather. The majestic mountain range stretches across Alaska, with the Alaska Range and the peak of Denali rising to 20,310 feet, towering like an icy spire. The Brooks and Chugach mountain ranges form magnificent natural walls, while the St. Elias Range, wild and mysterious, with many peaks over 16,000 feet, is one of the most challenging mountain ranges in the world. All of this creates a wild and majestic land, teeming with an astonishingly rich life. This land stretches from vast taiga forests to frozen tundras, where over 2,000 plant species thrive. In the coastal forests, towering ancient trees rise hundreds of feet, while in the far northern regions, low-growing shrubs thrive. Alaska is not only a wild land, but also a symbol of the strength and adaptability of nature, a place where everything seems tested and reinforced over time. In the survival battle against the cold winds, Alaska is not only home to plant life. It is home to over 1,000 species of vertebrates, more than 30 species of marine mammals, and over 500 species of birds, including migratory birds and seabirds, all contributing to a rich life amidst the mountains and ice. However, the northern part of Alaska tells a different story, the Arctic and subarctic regions, where majestic nature meets harsh conditions. In the winter, temperatures here can easily drop below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, creating a cold and silent world. In these areas, the Chukchi Sea and the Bering Sea surround frozen plains, where the sea ice stretches for thousands of miles. Beneath this ice lies permafrost, a layer of land that has been frozen for thousands of years. Plants like moss, lichen, and low shrubs have adapted perfectly, growing slowly through the harsh winter months. However, this fragile ecosystem is facing concerning changes. In 2023, the Arctic temperature increased 4 times faster than the global average, leading to the rapid melting of sea ice and permafrost, disrupting natural structures that have existed for millennia. These changes are not only altering the landscape, but also threatening the survival of wildlife. The polar bear, the symbol of the Arctic, is struggling as its habitat and hunting grounds continue to shrink. This is the largest bear species and the largest land carnivore, with adult males weighing up to 1,760 pounds. Polar bears live on land, but prefer life on the ice, and are considered marine mammals because they depend on the marine ecosystem. With a thick 4-inch layer of fat beneath their skin, polar bears are protected from the extreme cold. Their black skin beneath the white fur helps them absorb the rare sunlight of the Arctic. Their large, webbed paws make them excellent swimmers, allowing them to navigate the icy waters in search of prey. Today, Alaska is the only place in the United States where polar bears can be found, with an estimated population of 4,000 to 7,000 individuals. Some of them live near the Bering Land Bridge National Preserve and Cape Krusenstern National Monument, where these remain the last wilderness areas for this species. Polar bears are master hunters of seals, particularly ringed seals and bearded seals on floating sea ice. They wait patiently by the breathing holes of the seals, where they frequently surface to breathe. When a seal pops up, the polar bear strikes quickly, utilizing the seal's blubber as an essential energy source to survive the harsh winter. However, the Arctic sea ice is melting at a record pace, and the summer of 2023 recorded the lowest ice levels ever. Polar bears are now forced to swim farther to find food, sometimes traveling tens or even hundreds of miles across open water in search of ice. Although polar bears can swim continuously for over 60 miles to find sea ice or seals, this increases the risk of energy depletion and malnutrition, threatening their survival in the harsh Arctic and subarctic ecosystems. As polar bears struggle more to hunt seals, they are forced to adapt to less effective hunting methods, such as hunting seabird eggs and even scavenging whale carcasses washed ashore. Their keen sense of smell allows them to detect whale carcasses from up to 20 miles away. However, these unstable food sources are not enough to provide the necessary calories for their massive bodies, especially during winter when their energy needs increase significantly. Scientists warn that in the coming decades, some areas may have no ice during the summer. If this trend continues, polar bears will lose their primary hunting grounds, especially the ice flows they rely on to hunt seals, pushing the species to the brink of extinction. As the polar bear's natural habitat diminishes, they begin moving farther inland, closer to human settlements, in search of alternative food sources like seabirds and small animals. However, living on land is not a long-term solution, as these food sources are not plentiful enough to sustain them for long periods, increasing the risk of malnutrition. Being closer to human settlements also leads to more encounters between polar bears and humans, causing safety and food supply issues. Can we find a solution to protect polar bears and maintain their habitat? We must act today to stop this trend and protect the lives of wildlife in harsh lands like Alaska. Encounters between bears and humans are becoming more common as starving bears, desperate for food, easily lead to dangerous conflicts. According to NOAA, the number of such encounters increased by 15% in 2023. Human activities such as oil and gas extraction, fishing, and tourism are also encroaching deeper into polar bear habitats, making their survival more fragile. Can we find a solution to protect polar bears and maintain their habitat? In harsh lands like Alaska, polar bears are facing a serious threat from climate change and other environmental impacts. We must act today to stop this trend and protect the lives of wildlife in harsh lands like Alaska. We cannot stand by while the lives of these wild animals are at risk. Every action we take today can make a huge difference for their future. Join the journey to protect wildlife, share your thoughts, and take action now to stop this trend. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the Wild Kingdom Animal Documentary channel, and share this video to help spread this important message. Meanwhile, the Bering, Chukchi, and Bering Seas in the Arctic region of Alaska are home to 4 species of seals that depend on sea ice: bearded seals, ringed seals, spotted seals, and ice seals. These seals, often referred to as ice seals, play a crucial role in the Arctic ecosystem and are an important resource for Alaska's indigenous communities. Ice seals rely on sea ice for survival. They use the ice for breeding, hunting, and as a shelter from predators such as polar bears. However, the rapid melting of sea ice, especially in the summer, is posing a severe threat to their reproduction and survival. These seals not only lose their habitat, but also face changes in the food chain, as rising sea temperatures cause small fish and krill, their main food sources, to move further north or decrease in number. In 2023, the population of Arctic cod in the Bering Sea decreased by 15%, severely impacting the food supply for bearded seals and ringed seals. The scarcity of food forces these seals to hunt for longer periods and travel farther, increasing energy costs while decreasing their ability to maintain health and reproduce. This threatens the fragile ecological balance and deeply impacts species that rely on ice, such as ice seals. The Pacific walrus is one of the largest marine animals in the Arctic region. Male walruses can weigh up to 3,700 pounds, while females weigh between 800 and 200 pounds. With a thick layer of blubber to protect them from the cold water, walruses use their tusks to cling to slippery sea ice and dig for food at the ocean floor, where they hunt clams, mussels, and other mollusks. Although they cannot see their prey beneath the thick mud, their extremely sensitive whiskers help them detect and find food. Each dive, walruses make the most of every second to search for food in these icy waters. Besides hunting, Pacific walruses also depend on floating ice floes to rest between hunting trips and to reproduce. These stable sea ice platforms are not only a safe refuge, but also a critical factor for their survival. It is on the sea ice that walruses give birth and nurse their young. With environmental changes and nature's destruction, can we find a solution to protect these animals from losing their habitat? We must act together to protect the Arctic ecosystem and the animals that depend on sea ice. The Pacific walrus, a massive marine animal, uses sea ice as a shelter and a place to learn hunting skills when young. In summer, when the sea ice melts, walruses are forced to move toward the coasts of Alaska and Russia. Here, they rest and search for food, although without the stability of the drifting ice floes. As winter arrives and sea ice thickens, walruses return to icy areas to breed and hibernate. However, climate change is rapidly melting sea ice, disrupting the walrus's life cycle and making their survival journey more difficult. Changes in the thickness and duration of sea ice are severely impacting the distribution and ability to find food for walruses. Sea ice, an essential platform for resting and migrating, is becoming thinner and disappearing quickly, forcing walruses to spend more time on the coastal shores of Alaska and Russia. In these areas, their hunting trips are limited to near-shore areas, reducing access to the abundant food sources found on the ocean floor. In addition to losing sea ice, walruses also face threats from predators like orcas and polar bears, who wait for the opportunity to strike when walruses become weakened. Furthermore, the increase in maritime traffic presents new challenges, such as pollution, the risk of collisions, and the danger of entanglement in marine debris. On land, young walruses are vulnerable to injury or death when the herd panics and rushes into the water. These small animals can be crushed during such panics. The permafrost, the permanently frozen ground in Alaska, is rapidly melting due to the effects of climate change. This thawing not only alters the landscape but also severely affects the tundra ecosystem. In 2023, studies recorded the loss of vegetation, reducing the food supply for herbivorous animals like caribou. With 32 herds of caribou spread across Alaska, it is estimated that about 750,000 caribou live here. The northwestern Arctic herd is one of the largest herds in the world. In 2003, this herd had around 490,000 members, but by 2016, its population had sharply declined to only 201,000. The northwestern Arctic herd undertakes one of the most magnificent and impressive migrations on Earth. With around 200,000 members, this herd migrates across the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Wildlife habitats are changing rapidly, and climate change poses a major threat to their survival. The question is, can we find a solution to save these animals before they become a thing of the past? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We must act now to protect the tundra ecosystem and the creatures that rely on it. Don't let extinction become an irreversible outcome. Every spring, when the ice melts, caribou begin their migration north, leaving the low coastal lands and heading deep into the taiga forests and distant tundra to give birth. When winter arrives, they return south, completing a life cycle moving between icy landscapes and wild forests. Caribou travel an incredible distance of up to 2,000 miles each year on this migration journey. Scientists have even recorded a female caribou from the northwestern herd, migrating as far as 2,700 miles, as if crossing an endless wilderness. This long and arduous journey is the rhythm of the caribou's life. Caribou are resilient creatures, uniquely adapted to the harsh environment of the Arctic and subarctic. Their thick fur is not only a shield against the cold, but also helps keep their bodies warm throughout the winter, even in extremely low temperatures. Their long, strong legs allow them to easily traverse icy and snowy terrain, crossing hundreds of miles of challenging land. In the summer, they feed on grasses and light vegetation on the tundra. But when winter arrives and the ground is covered with snow, caribou use their broad, sharp hooves to dig through the snow in search of lichen hidden beneath the surface. Their survival depends on their ability to dig and find these scarce food sources beneath the thick snow. However, due to rapid climate changes, caribou are facing unprecedented challenges. When winter arrives earlier or lasts longer than expected, caribou have difficulty finding food beneath the ice and snow. Ice storms, where rain freezes and forms a hard layer of ice, make it difficult for them to access lichen, their main food source in winter. Additionally, wildfires, though rare in the Arctic tundra, have also devastated fruticose lichen species, an important winter food source for caribou. Reports in 2023 show a significant decline in natural food sources, pushing caribou into difficult situations. Recent studies show that caribou numbers have decreased by 15% in some areas, partly due to food scarcity. Furthermore, changes in weather patterns have intensified the migration, forcing caribou to search for new lands, sometimes moving up to 50 miles a day. Traditional migration routes, once critical to their survival for thousands of years, are now changing. Sometimes caribou herds must cross 35 miles of sea ice in the Kabu Sound area to reach safer lands. Winter signs such as the first snow and falling temperatures usually signal the start of the caribou's migration, but interestingly, they are learning to adapt quickly. If they encounter warmer weather or snowless areas, they slow down and rest longer. Over the past 3 decades, caribou have started migrating later in the fall, and with the warming climate, this trend is likely to continue. In the icy world of Alaska's Arctic and subarctic regions, the walrus is a symbol of strength and resilience. With its thick, 2-layered coat, this hoofed animal is perfectly adapted to the harsh conditions of its habitat. In the winter, its white fur helps it blend perfectly with the snow, making it nearly invisible while hunting or avoiding predators. The Arctic fox is an omnivore with an extremely flexible hunting ability. This incredible adaptation helps it survive in the harshest conditions of the Arctic environment. The Arctic fox has a unique survival strategy that allows it to withstand the extreme conditions of Alaska's Arctic and subarctic regions. In the summer, when food is more abundant, its diet consists of seabird eggs, insects, and sometimes berries when available. However, during the harsh winter months, its primary food source shifts to lemmings and other small rodents, on which it depends to survive the cold months. The Arctic fox is not immune to the survival challenges posed by climate change. The decline in prey due to the disappearing sea ice has forced the Arctic fox to travel farther to find food, expending more energy on each hunting trip. Its ecological environment is also changing, as larger shrubs are beginning to dominate, replacing the small native plants the Arctic fox relies on. Some foxes have been forced to move further inland in search of food, although this environment is not ideal for their survival. Furthermore, larger and stronger red foxes are migrating north due to rising Arctic temperatures, leading to increased competition for food and habitat with the smaller Arctic fox. In 2023, this competition led to a decline in Arctic fox populations in many areas, particularly those where habitats have been severely altered by climate change. Studies from the United States Geological Survey, USGS, show that the Arctic fox is losing vital habitat and food sources, resulting in a concerning population decline. The Arctic fox is facing a challenging future due to changes in its habitat and competition from other species. What can we do to protect these remarkable creatures from the threat of extinction? Continue following Wild Kingdom Animal Documentary to explore more about wild animals facing unimaginable challenges. Around May, as winter recedes, the tundra swans migrate to Alaska to begin nesting in wetland areas, shallow waters, and around melting glaciers. These birds are symbols of the Arctic and subarctic regions. The northern coastal areas of Alaska are their primary breeding grounds, where milder weather and abundant food sources provide ideal conditions for reproduction. Every year, tundra swans undertake a remarkable migration from their breeding grounds in the Arctic and subarctic regions of Alaska to the southern wetland areas. As the Arctic winter brings freezing temperatures and snow, these birds fly up to 3,700 miles to escape the harsh cold, traveling along western or eastern migration routes across North America. According to studies from USGS in 2023, the migration routes of tundra swans have changed due to climate change. Climate change is not only affecting wildlife species like the Arctic fox and tundra swan, but is also altering how they migrate and reproduce. We can do a lot to protect these animals and help them adapt to the rapidly changing environments. We need to act now to mitigate the impacts of climate change and protect these incredible wild creatures. Rising temperatures are altering the availability of food along the tundra swans' migration routes, forcing them to adapt to more challenging journeys. As spring arrives earlier, the breeding season may begin before aquatic plants and water grasses, essential food sources, are ready. This could weaken the young, reducing their chances of survival. Furthermore, the rising water temperatures and the spread of harmful algae are beginning to affect the waters that sustain life in these environments. The environment is becoming increasingly harsh, with each mile of ice disappearing, creating a complex survival challenge that the tundra swan must face. We cannot help but feel sympathy for these creatures, as each step of their migration is tied to their own survival. These animals are not only fighting against the environment, but also against time. As the ice melts quickly, can these creatures continue to survive and maintain their great journey? Like the tundra swan, the Arctic tern is a migration champion, undertaking the longest journey in the animal kingdom. Every year, they leave the Arctic and subarctic regions of Alaska and fly south to the icy waters around Antarctica. This journey spans up to 43,500 miles, taking them from the northernmost to the southernmost parts of the Earth, following the sun and endless summer. Arctic terns primarily feed on small fish, plankton, and insects. Their diving skills are incredible, as they plunge from heights of up to 30 feet, piercing the water's surface to catch prey. Sardines and small Arctic fish are often their preferred targets. However, rising sea temperatures have caused their main food sources, small fish, to move farther north or decrease in number, extending their hunting trips and draining the energy of these birds, which have already migrated thousands of miles each year. We can imagine their exhaustion, as each journey is a battle for survival. Environmental changes pose a challenge that not only weakens them, but also takes away some of their natural strength. Temperature changes are also affecting the timing of ice melt, which directly impacts their breeding cycle, typically aligned with abundant food availability. When the ice melts earlier, the timing of egg incubation no longer matches the abundance of food. In 2023, some studies reported a significant decline in the survival rate of Arctic tern chicks in certain areas of Alaska due to climate instability. For chicks unable to find food in time, their future looks more uncertain than ever, serving as a warning of instability not only for nature, but for us as well. In the Arctic and subarctic regions of Alaska, the pristine white feathers of the snowy owl blend perfectly with the icy landscape, providing excellent camouflage. Its thick feathers, which even cover its legs, keep it warm even when temperatures drop below 4 degrees Fahrenheit. This adaptation has made the snowy owl one of the most formidable predators in the harsh Arctic environment. The snowy owl is a master hunter of the Arctic and subarctic, where snowy plains and open terrain allow it to easily track prey. Unlike many other owl species, the snowy owl is a daytime predator, especially during the Arctic summer months when the sun never sets. As the climate changes, these creatures face new challenges in their survival journey. We need to find solutions to protect them from these fluctuations. Together, we can make a difference in protecting these animals and maintaining the ecological balance in the Arctic environment. The snowy owl, with its pure white feathers, has a significant advantage in hunting continuously under the endless light of the Arctic summer. It glides over the snow, using its sharp vision to detect even the slightest movement, even in the dim light of winter. Lemmings, a common rodent species, are the main food source for the snowy owl. However, the snowy owl can also hunt rabbits, seabirds, and even young foxes when food becomes scarce. Despite this, the breeding cycle of lemmings, the snowy owl's primary food source, has been severely impacted by temperature changes and snow conditions. The melting of permafrost and changes in Arctic vegetation are also significant threats. Larger plants are replacing smaller vegetation, altering the snowy owl's natural habitat and reducing its hunting efficiency. The vast landscapes once ideal for breeding and hunting are gradually disappearing. These challenges have created increasing pressure on the snowy owl population, making it harder for them to survive in the ever-changing Arctic environment. The beluga, a well-known whale species, is also not immune to the effects of environmental changes in Alaska. As a marine animal characteristic of the Arctic and subarctic regions, the beluga is famous for its ability to live in harsh environments and is often called the white whale due to its distinctive white skin. The beluga is also famous for its rich range of sounds, earning it the nickname the singer of the sea. The beluga has a unique seasonal migration pattern. In the summer, they move north, gathering in river mouths and coastal bays in Alaska, such as Cook Inlet, Bristol Bay, and the Bering Sea, where there is more food and warmer waters. As winter approaches and sea ice forms, belugas migrate south to find open water. They rely on a thick layer of blubber, up to 6 inches thick, to insulate them during the cold winter months and conserve energy. When food becomes scarce, they live in small groups called pods, usually consisting of 2 to 25 individuals. During migration, beluga pods can consist of hundreds of whales. Gathering in pods helps them hunt more efficiently, as belugas can surround and share food within the group. The beluga's diet includes a variety of species such as octopus, squid, crabs, shrimp, and fish like salmon, cod, sardines, and flounder. With the ability to dive as deep as 3,000 feet and hold their breath for up to 25 minutes, belugas can hunt in shallow waters near the shore and sometimes even on the ocean floor. One of the most important skills of the beluga is its ability to echolocate, also known as sonar. They emit clicking sounds that help them detect prey even in the darkness. We need to find solutions to protect these animals from the increasingly severe impacts of climate change. These wild animals are facing unprecedented challenges, and our actions could be the key to helping them maintain their existence in a rapidly changing wilderness. The beluga, the famous white whale, is facing an increasingly difficult battle for survival as climate change melts sea ice, altering their natural habitat. Warmer waters and less ice have forced belugas to migrate farther south in search of food and shelter. This places additional nutritional pressure on the whales and affects their ability to reproduce, as environmental changes disrupt their hunting timing and locations. Furthermore, underwater noise from ships and industrial activities, like seismic exploration, can disrupt communication and the beluga's echolocation abilities, which are essential for hunting and navigation in the harsh environment. The increased frequency of loud noises could cause temporary hearing loss in belugas, disorienting them and making survival in the icy waters even more challenging. From the ice sheets of the Arctic and subarctic, the ecosystem is gradually transitioning into a new landscape, the boreal forest, also known as the taiga. Here, long and harsh winters give way to short but vibrant summers. The biting cold of winter, where temperatures often drop below -22 degrees Fahrenheit, is a major challenge for life. But within these challenges, nature finds ways to grow and thrive. This is the home of towering trees such as black and white spruce, standing resilient through time and climate. Beneath the canopy, lichens, moss, and small shrubs form a green carpet, sheltering countless wild animals. These creatures have existed and thrived for thousands of years, and now they face the threat of losing the habitat they have always known. Imagining these animals losing their home only heightens our concern about their future. Every tree, every shrub plays an important role in their lives, and the loss of these is almost unimaginable. However, climate change is gradually altering the natural balance. Warmer temperatures and longer summers bring an increased risk of wildfires. Lightning strikes in late July can trigger fast-spreading fires, burning thousands of acres of forest. In 2023, Alaska faced 294,000 acres burned, disrupting both vegetation and wildlife. Alaska is home to 98% of the total brown bear population in the US, and 70% of all brown bears in North America. These animals, especially brown bears, are facing significant changes in their habitats. It is heartbreaking to see brown bears losing the dense forests where they live and forage for food. Will they find new shelter, or will they face an even harder battle for survival? We must act today to protect the ecosystem of Alaska and the wildlife facing difficulties. Across Alaska, from the majestic mountain ranges to the vast plains, brown bears dominate the landscape. One particularly notable area is the McNeil River, famous for having the highest density of brown bears in the state. Every summer, hundreds of bears gather here to fish for salmon in the swift waters of rivers and waterfalls. Male brown bears, which can weigh up to 1,500 pounds, present a powerful image of strength and survival in the wilds of Alaska. Brown bears are omnivores with a diverse diet, but in the boreal region, their most important food source is salmon, especially in the summer and fall when salmon return to rivers like the Kenai and Copper. The brown bears quickly gather, waiting for the shimmering fish to swim upstream. During peak feeding season, a brown bear can consume up to 88 pounds of food each day. The fatty salmon helps them gain weight rapidly and store enough energy to survive Alaska's harsh winter. As winter approaches, brown bears begin to enter a hibernation state, a survival mechanism that helps them conserve energy when faced with freezing temperatures and a lack of food. Throughout hibernation, their body temperature drops. Their heart rate slows to just 8 to 10 beats per minute, and their metabolism reaches its lowest level. However, global warming is severely altering the brown bear's habitat in Alaska's boreal forests. The winters that were once long and stable have now become shorter, causing bears to wake up earlier from hibernation, often before they have stored enough energy. This forces them to face harsher environments, and food is becoming increasingly scarce. As forests shrink due to resource extraction and infrastructure development, brown bears are losing their natural shelters and food sources. This forces them to move farther, increasing the likelihood of conflicts between humans and bears. Around 450 brown bears are hunted annually in Alaska. These threats not only endanger the bear population, but also signal profound disruptions in the boreal ecosystem. Meanwhile, on the Rocky Mountain slopes, the Dall sheep carefully tread, avoiding the sharp gaze of predators. These animals are characteristic of Alaska's mountain ranges, living in small herds and adapting to high-altitude areas where they rarely migrate. The National Park Service considers the Dall sheep a sentinel species, sensitive to environmental changes. This means that changes in their numbers or habitats serve as a warning sign for ecological shifts in the region. In the vast spaces of the boreal mountain ranges, the Dall sheep continually move in search of food, often choosing high and rugged areas that most other animals cannot access. Their thick hooves help them move easily across the rough terrain. Environmental changes are significantly affecting these creatures. Can we protect these wild animals and maintain the ecological balance in the area? Our actions today can help protect Alaska and the unique wildlife living there from the powerful changes of climate. The Dall sheep, with their agility on steep mountain slopes, can cling to slippery rock surfaces thanks to their specialized hooves, allowing them to move easily and safely, avoid large predators like wolves and brown bears. Their thick wool is an essential factor in helping them endure the harsh winters in Alaska. This wool consists of 2 layers. The outer layer is water-resistant, and the inner layer provides insulation, keeping them warm even when temperatures drop below -30 degrees Fahrenheit. When spring arrives, the Dall sheep shed their winter coat to prepare for summer, helping their bodies maintain a stable temperature. However, the Dall sheep are facing even harsher conditions as their habitats change. Snowstorms and rains in late spring, coinciding with their breeding season, create significant challenges. Warmer temperatures are also encouraging the growth of plants that do not fit their diet, forcing the Dall sheep to travel farther to find food, putting additional pressure on their population. Resource extraction and infrastructure development are pushing them into less safe areas, making them easier targets for predators like wolves and brown bears. Another animal that lives and thrives in the rugged mountain regions of the boreal area is the mountain goat. They are the only representative of goat-like hoofed animals in North America and can be found in the Chugach and Wrangell mountain ranges, where their populations remain stable. Mountain goats have excellent adaptability, allowing them to live at elevations ranging from 5,000 to 13,000 feet, where few other animals can survive. Their thick fur with a soft undercoat helps keep them warm, and the long outer fur protects them from the cold winds and snow, shielding them from the harsh weather conditions. The hooves of mountain goats are specially designed with a hard surface and a soft pad, helping them grip slippery rock faces. This feature is crucial to their survival, allowing them to navigate steep and dangerous terrain, much like the Dall sheep. However, mountain goats are facing challenges due to the decline of high-altitude plants that they depend on for survival. Additionally, changes in snow patterns are significantly affecting them. The rapid melting of snow in the spring and thinner winter snow layers limit their access to important feeding areas, forcing mountain goats to expend more energy searching for food impacting their breeding cycle and increasing the risk of predation. Meanwhile, the Alaska moose, the largest member of the deer family, must also adapt to the harsh conditions of the boreal region. The largest moose ever recorded at the Kenai Peninsula Research Station weighed up to 1,697 pounds in November 2020, far exceeding the average weight for the species. Adapting to the harsh environment and climate changes is gradually becoming a major challenge for these animals. Can we protect these creatures and preserve biodiversity in rapidly changing areas? The Alaska moose, with its massive size nearly the same as a dairy cow, requires a large and stable food source to maintain its health. With a diet primarily consisting of aquatic plants, Alaska moose typically live near lakes, swamps, and large water bodies, creating ideal conditions for feeding and breeding. As a migratory species, they can travel up to 60 miles to find breeding grounds, mates, or richer food sources. The breeding season occurs in September and October, when large male moose use their massive antlers to fight for mating rights. These antlers can weigh between 45 and 50 pounds, with the largest reaching up to 75 pounds. After mating, females are pregnant for about 8 months, and the young are born at the end of spring. Female moose usually give birth to one calf, which will stay close to its mother during the first year to learn how to forage and survive in the harsh boreal environment. However, amidst environmental changes and human impact, the Alaska moose is facing severe survival challenges. Recent studies in 2023 show that shorter winters and less snow have altered the vegetation of the boreal forest, reducing the moose's main food sources. Increased wildfires due to warming temperatures are forcing moose to move to new areas in search of food, which increases the risk of predation and shrinks vegetation, heightening competition with other species. Furthermore, the development of construction projects and resource extraction has reduced the area of boreal forests, forcing moose to migrate to less safe areas. In Alaska's boreal ecosystem, gray wolves play an important role as apex predators. They help regulate prey populations, preventing overpopulation and maintaining ecological balance. The presence of gray wolves reflects the overall health of the ecosystem. The strength of the gray wolf lies in its highly effective group hunting strategy, thanks to their complex social structure. A wolf pack in Alaska is not just a group of animals, it is a tightly knit community working together to hunt effectively, ensuring stability and the development of the ecosystem. While wildlife such as moose and wolves face increasingly severe environmental changes, can we find ways to protect their survival and maintain ecological balance in a rapidly changing world? Gray wolf packs typically consist of 6 to 12 members, led by an alpha pair who make all the important decisions. The strong bond between pack members allows them to execute excellent hunting strategies, especially for large prey like moose and caribou. When hunting, gray wolves capitalize on their natural strengths. They move easily through deep snow, while large prey like moose and caribou that are weak or injured get trapped. The wolves work together to encircle their prey, with each wolf taking on a specific role, from chaser to lead, maximizing the pack's chances of success. Gray wolves primarily live in Alaska's vast taiga forests, but climate change is severely altering their habitat. Wildfires caused by rising temperatures and longer summers are becoming a major threat. These fires not only destroy natural habitats, but also reduce prey populations like moose and caribou. As a result, wolf packs are forced to travel farther to find food, often covering 12 to 18 miles each day. This not only depletes their energy, but also brings them closer to human settlements, increasing the risk of conflict with people. Walking along the ancient paths of the wild taiga forests, the wolverine survives like a solitary warrior. It is the largest member of the Mustelidae family, which includes weasels and otters, and is famous for its extraordinary strength and endurance. The wolverine is known for its power and resilience. It can travel over 15 miles a day in search of food or to defend its territory. They are not just warriors, but also symbols of perseverance, constantly fighting to survive. Imagine a solitary wolverine traversing the desolate lands, step by step, never giving up. It's a sight that inspires admiration. These animals are always associated with harshness and fierce vitality. Their hunting skills are not limited to land. Wolverines are exceptional swimmers and climbers, allowing them to hunt in diverse environments, such as rivers, forests, and mountaintops. In winter, unlike many other animals, wolverines do not hibernate. Instead, they continue hunting even in harsh weather conditions. It's easy to imagine that while other animals seek shelter, the wolverine relentlessly faces every challenge, refusing to weaken. It's the vibrant and fierce spirit of an animal, always ready to confront the freezing winter, continually striving forward. However, habitat loss and the decline in prey populations are posing significant challenges to the wolverine. The loss of wild areas in the western United States and Canada is one of the main reasons for their population decline in those areas. However, in Alaska, the wolverine population is still considered stable thanks to conservation efforts and the protection of large wilderness areas. Above the boreal forest, the golden eagle reigns with its impressive presence. We can feel the grandeur and pride of this bird as it soars through the sky, displaying the incredible natural strength that only nature can provide. Every time it spreads its wings, it seems to tell the story of enduring vitality, freedom, and an unstoppable power. The golden eagle, with its ability to fly high and at great speed, is one of the most formidable predators in the boreal ecosystem, playing a crucial role in maintaining the region's ecological balance. We need to make efforts to protect these wild animals from the increasing challenges posed by climate change and human activities. Along with this, we must find effective solutions to help them sustain their lives in a rapidly changing environment. With its wide wingspan and majestic presence, the golden eagle is a predatory bird renowned for its unmatched strength and excellent hunting abilities. In winter, the golden eagle migrates from northern Alaska to the southern regions when food sources become scarce. Its ability to fly tens of miles each day helps it access new hunting grounds. The golden eagle typically nests in high places, such as cliffs, tall trees, or remote mountain areas. These high locations provide an excellent vantage point for their territory and help protect their nest from predators. The golden eagle's nest is large and made from branches along with other materials, including animal bones. They often return to the same nest year after year, continuously expanding and reinforcing it during each breeding season. However, temperature changes and shorter winters have affected migration patterns and the availability of food. Warmer temperatures have pushed prey species, such as snowshoe hares and deer mice, farther north or to higher altitudes, forcing golden eagles to expand their hunting territories. This impacts their breeding success and the sustainability of their populations. Moreover, reduced snow levels in winter change nesting conditions, especially in mountainous areas, lowering the ability to raise healthy offspring. Human activities, including resource extraction projects such as wind turbines and power lines, are also creating significant challenges. These structures create obstacles along the eagle's flight path, leading to an increasing number of fatal collisions. Pollution from oil drilling and mining activities continues to degrade the quality of food sources for golden eagles, further increasing the burden on their survival. Another remarkable predatory bird living in Alaska is the bald eagle, the symbol of the United States. In the harsh environment of Alaska's boreal ecosystem, the bald eagle has developed unique traits that help it survive. Its thick plumage protects it from the winter cold, while its ability to migrate allows it to move to areas with better food sources when necessary. The bald eagle is considered a partially migratory species, meaning it only migrates when weather conditions or food sources become insufficient. When rivers and lakes freeze and food becomes scarce, it migrates south. With the ability to fly hundreds of miles, the bald eagle searches for open water or moves to southern regions to survive the winter. In areas where rivers and lakes cut through dense forests, bald eagle nests appear on tall trees and cliffs. These nests are built with branches and leaves, crafted with care and patience. Each breeding season, their nests are expanded and reinforced, becoming grand natural structures. Some nests can weigh up to 2,200 pounds and have a diameter of up to 8 feet, not only serving as a place to raise young, but also as a fortress against other predators. Both golden eagles and bald eagles face significant challenges in a rapidly changing environment. What can we do to protect these predatory birds from the impacts of climate change and human activities? The bald eagle faces serious challenges from climate change and human activities. Rivers that were once mighty are now running dry, and the rapid melting of ice has disrupted the flow, reducing the number of salmon and other freshwater fish. This scarcity forces the bald eagle to migrate farther, expending valuable energy just to survive. Pollution from oil drilling and mining activities continues to threaten aquatic ecosystems, which are a crucial food source for them. Now, these iconic birds of freedom must fight not only against nature, but also the impacts of human activity. The fastest predator bird in the world, known for its ability to dive at speeds of up to 200 miles per hour to catch prey, is the peregrine falcon. The history of this bird has faced serious challenges due to the pesticide DDT, which weakened eggshells and reproductive capabilities. Although their population has recovered and DDT has been banned, the peregrine falcon still faces numerous challenges in its natural habitat. They require open habitats to ensure the safety of their nests and provide ideal conditions for hunting from high altitudes. In Alaska, they typically nest on high cliffs, which offer a perfect vantage point to monitor and protect their nests from other predators. Sometimes, they even use man-made structures such as bridges or tall buildings for nesting. However, rising temperatures and shorter winters are causing migrating birds and the peregrine falcon's primary prey species to become scarce, making hunting increasingly difficult. This could lead to a population decline as peregrine falcons struggle to find food. From the taiga forests to the icy rivers, the journey leads to the vast shores of Alaska, where the coastal and ocean ecosystems of Alaska begin. With over 54,000 miles of coastline, Alaska boasts one of the largest and most diverse coastal ecosystems in the world. These seemingly desolate beaches hide a rich community of living creatures. This is also a migration corridor for predators like gray wolves and brown bears, seeking food from the sea. Alaska is home to more than 300 species of fish, including both freshwater and saltwater species. Among them, salmon species such as king salmon, sockeye, pink salmon, and coho salmon stand out due to their remarkable migratory spawning behavior. They lay their eggs in late summer and early fall in streams and freshwater lakes, where the flowing water over gravel beds provides enough oxygen for the eggs to develop. The young salmon live in freshwater for a period ranging from a few months to several years, depending on the species, before preparing for their journey to the sea. The process of smoltification marks a significant turning point in their lives as their bodies adapt to survive in saltwater. Afterward, the young salmon leave the streams where they were born and head toward the ocean. The lives of these creatures, from eagles to salmon, are facing significant changes from environmental shifts and human activity. We need to find effective solutions to protect these wild animals and maintain the ecological balance in a rapidly changing world. Throughout their journey in the ocean, salmon feed on small fish and crustaceans, accumulating the energy they need for their journey back. After spending 2 to 5 years in the ocean, salmon begin to return to the exact river where they were born. This return home behavior is one of nature's great mysteries, as they use chemical signals in the water and the Earth's magnetic field to navigate. It is truly admirable to imagine these brave salmon crossing thousands of miles of ocean to find the river where they began their lives. A miraculous natural journey that no other animal can compare to. These journeys bring life to an entire ecosystem. They return not only to reproduce, but also as a source of vitality that sustains many other species. Have you ever wondered what challenges these animals face on their survival journey? Join Wild Kingdom Animal Documentary as we continue to explore more incredible stories of nature and these amazing wild animals. Once they complete their reproductive mission, most salmon species reach the end of their life cycle, bringing a long and challenging journey to a close. The coastal waters of Alaska are home to over 3,700 species of marine crustaceans, ranging from shallow waters to the deep ocean. They are found from the Bering Sea in the north, through the Aleutian Islands, the Gulf of Alaska, all the way to the southern border of the state. These species include a diverse range of groups such as crustaceans, including crabs and shrimp, echinoderms like starfish and sea urchins, and mollusks like octopuses, oysters, clams, and many others. Marine crustaceans play a crucial role in the marine ecosystem, serving as a primary food source for fish, seabirds, and marine mammals. Additionally, they contribute significantly to environmental health by filtering water and processing nutrients. However, climate change is severely disrupting these marine crustacean species within the ecosystem. Rising sea temperatures not only affect the development and distribution of marine crustaceans, but also accelerate the process of ocean acidification. Furthermore, some crustacean species, like king crabs, have started migrating further north in search of colder waters. This migration disrupts the population structure of marine life, alters the natural food chain, and negatively impacts the marine environment of Alaska. We cannot help but feel the struggle of these creatures as they are forced to move farther and farther, searching for suitable habitats. This change serves as a clear warning of the far-reaching impacts climate change is causing. Sea otters are one of the marine creatures most severely affected by the decline in crustacean populations. Sea otters, the largest members of the weasel family, which include species such as martens, wolverines, and ferrets, can grow up to 6 feet long and weigh over 100 pounds, making them one of the largest otter species in Alaska. Sea otters inhabit areas such as Prince William Sound, Kenai Fjords, and the Aleutian Islands. Other populations extend from the Kuril Islands in Russia to the coastlines of California. Sea otters spend nearly their entire lives on the water, where they eat, sleep, mate, and even give birth. Their thick fur and ability to regulate body temperature in cold marine environments allow them to avoid many natural threats on land and optimize hunting underwater. Sea otters play a vital role as apex predators in maintaining the ecological balance of Alaska's coastal ecosystems. One of their most important contributions is controlling the sea urchin population, a species that frequently feeds on kelp. If left unchecked, sea urchins can overgraze kelp forests, leading to the degradation of these habitats, which are essential for many fish and marine species. Sea otters prioritize consuming larger, older sea urchins, helping manage the population and allowing kelp forests to thrive. This prevents tidal areas from turning into marine deserts, ensuring a diverse marine ecosystem. Environmental changes and human impacts are creating significant challenges for these marine species. We must find solutions to protect and maintain the biodiversity of these critical marine ecosystems. The answers we find will determine the future of these animals and their habitats. In areas where fish and marine crustaceans thrive, sea otters spend most of their time eating. With a high metabolic rate, they must continuously consume food to stay warm and maintain energy. This feeding behavior helps maintain a diverse and balanced food chain, ensuring stability for Alaska's vast coastal ecosystems. However, rising sea temperatures have altered kelp ecosystems, which play a crucial role in providing habitats and food for species like sea urchins. As kelp declines, sea urchin populations grow out of control, causing an imbalance that directly impacts the sea otter's food source. As a result, their habitats become barren, and their quality of life is threatened. Additionally, ocean acidification is affecting the development of hard-shelled species like crabs, clams, and oysters, primary food sources for sea otters. As the growth of these species is restricted, the natural food chain of the otters is disrupted, leading to a decline in their population over time. Stretching from coastal areas and islands from Alaska to the Aleutian Islands, the Steller sea lions often bask on sandy beaches. They are the largest marine mammals in the Otariidae family, commonly referred to as the Earlis seal family. Female Steller sea lions typically measure around 7 feet long and weigh about 600 pounds, while the males are much larger, reaching up to 9 feet and averaging 1,300 pounds. with the largest individuals weighing as much as 2,400 pounds. Living in the cold waters of the Bering Sea and Chukchi Sea, Steller sea lions have developed special adaptations to survive in this harsh environment. One of their most notable features is the thick layer of blubber under their skin, which helps maintain a stable body temperature. This layer of blubber not only protects them from the cold, but also serves as an energy reserve, especially during periods of food scarcity in the winter. During the breeding season, from May to July, Steller sea lions gather on coastal rocks or small islands, where they find a safe space to reproduce. After the breeding season, they move out to open sea, beginning their foraging journeys, although they do not stray too far from their breeding areas. However, like many other marine species, Steller sea lions are also facing population declines due to various factors. Changes in habitat and human impacts are creating significant challenges for these animals. We must act now to protect and maintain the stability of these vital wildlife populations. Protecting marine ecosystems and the species that depend on them is essential to ensuring the future of these creatures. Regarding environmental changes and competition for food, rising sea temperatures have directly affected the distribution of small fish species, the main food source for Steller sea lions. Species such as pollock and sardines, which are energy-rich food sources for Steller sea lions, are becoming increasingly scarce, forcing them to travel farther to hunt. This leads to higher energy expenditure and makes it more difficult for them to maintain the necessary nutrition for survival. In the waters of Alaska, orcas, killer whales, are widely distributed and are known for their incredible hunting abilities. Although commonly referred to as killer whales, this name is debated, as orcas actually belong to the dolphin family. The name comes from their hunting behavior in large groups, often compared to wolves. They are not just predators, they are collective warriors, working in perfect coordination like an army, with every move being a sophisticated strategy. This makes them truly remarkable and worthy of respect. It is the power of unity that has helped them dominate the ocean. Another reason is the fact that they often hunt other species of whales and large marine predators like seals and sea lions. The coastal ecosystems of Alaska, including the continental shelf and deep waters, create an ideal habitat for orcas. They often migrate seasonally along the coast from southeast Alaska through the Aleutian Islands and sometimes appear in Prince William Sound. The abundance of prey species such as salmon, cod, and other marine animals supports the strong population of orcas in this area. Orcas in Alaska can grow quite large, with adult males reaching up to 27 feet in length. Their adaptability allows them to thrive in diverse marine environments, from the cold waters near the poles to warmer regions. Watching them glide through the ocean, we can see the freedom and power of these creatures, as if the ocean is their true home. That grandeur commands respect, as each orca is a symbol of enduring life and remarkable adaptability. Thanks to their versatile hunting skills and immense strength, orcas are considered apex predators of the ocean, not only in Alaska, but worldwide. Despite being apex predators, orcas are not immune to the impacts of climate change. As ocean temperatures rise, their familiar hunting grounds, particularly near the Arctic, are quickly shrinking. Melting ice is changing the marine habitats that orcas depend on, forcing them to move further to find food, which impacts their health and survival. Alaska is a rich and biodiverse area, playing a crucial role as a habitat for whale species such as gray whales, blue whales, and humpback whales. To adapt to the cold waters of Alaska, especially in winter, these whale species have developed a thick layer of blubber under their skin, which helps retain heat and protects them in harsh environments. Gray whales are among the most recognizable whale species in the North Pacific, often spotted in areas like the Channel Islands and surrounding regions, where their presence has become an integral part of the coastal landscape. However, like many other marine animals, they face significant challenges due to climate change. Can we protect these whale species and maintain the biodiversity of marine ecosystems in the face of these drastic changes? We must act now to protect these magnificent creatures and their habitats. With a migration journey that spans up to 10,000 miles round trip, gray whales undertake one of the longest migrations of any mammal. The Bering Sea and Chukchi Sea are their feeding grounds during the summer, primarily between Alaska and Russia. The habitat of gray whales in the Bering Sea and Chukchi Sea is rich with benthic organisms, making these waters an ideal stop on their migration journey. Their feeding technique is quite unique, using baleen plates to filter food, a method distinct from many other whale species. Gray whales are bottom feeders, sucking up mud and sediment from the seafloor and filtering out small crustaceans like copepods and tube worms through their thick baleen plates. As they move through the coastal waters of Alaska, gray whales play a crucial role in the ecosystem, stirring up sediment and redistributing nutrients from the ocean floor. These whales are closely linked to the shallow waters where they feed, so they are heavily dependent on the health of these marine environments. Like many other species, gray whales also face challenges from climate change, shifting ocean temperatures, and increasing resource extraction activities, which threaten their food sources and habitats. Among all whale species, the blue whale is the ocean's giant, the largest animal ever known to have existed on Earth, reaching lengths of up to 100 feet and weighing around 160 tons, far surpassing any other creature in size. The heart of a blue whale is the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, capable of pumping 10 tons of blood throughout its massive body. Along with their size, the blue whale's flippers, which can extend up to 30 feet, create an awe-inspiring sight in the ocean. To sustain their colossal bodies, blue whales consume up to 4 tons of krill each day during feeding season. Thanks to their long migrations and slow reproductive cycles, blue whales require a stable and nutrient-rich environment to maintain their populations. Although blue whales can be found in many oceans around the world, they are especially vulnerable to climate change and human activity. Some populations, such as those in the North Pacific, including Alaska, remain relatively stable. However, most populations face serious threats, such as illegal hunting and habitat loss. Both gray whales and blue whales are confronted with major challenges from the environment and human activities. We must protect these magnificent creatures and maintain the stability of whale populations in a rapidly changing world. This is the time for us to show concern and take immediate action to protect their future. The sky above Glacier Bay seems to stretch out as you spot a humpback whale leaping out of the water. With a single breath, a humpback whale can release air at speeds of up to 300 miles per hour, creating a visible spray that can be seen from afar. Humpback whales are true artists of the ocean with their acrobatic maneuvers. They leap from the water, slap their enormous pectoral fins, and swipe their powerful tails in energetic displays. Humpback whales migrate to the nutrient-rich cold waters of Glacier Bay in the summer with one goal: to feed after a long winter fast in tropical waters like Hawaii or Mexico. They make the most of the summer to feast. One of their signature hunting methods is bubble net feeding. They blow bubbles underwater to trap schools of small fish, then surge upwards with their mouths wide open to catch fish like sardines, herring, and mackerel. These whales consume up to half a ton of food per day and play a vital role in maintaining the ecological balance of the region. However, climate change poses serious challenges to humpback whales in Alaska. Rising ocean temperatures are reducing the number of krill, their primary food source. As we continue to explore the marine ecosystems of Alaska, the essential role of seabirds and coastal birds cannot be overlooked. These birds play a crucial role in maintaining the ecological balance, serving as an indispensable link in the coastal food chain. Some seabird species, such as tufted puffins and murres, stand out for their remarkable diving abilities. They can dive to depths of 200 to 400 feet to catch fish and crustaceans as prey. In the spring, millions of coastal birds migrate to Alaska, attracting the attention of tourists and researchers with their spectacular displays. From May to June, when the ice begins to melt and food sources become abundant, migratory birds gather at coastal mudflats, such as those at Clark Lake. These birds make significant contributions to maintaining the coastal ecosystem, ensuring the survival of marine animals and plants. However, environmental changes and human impacts are causing serious threats to the survival of marine animals and birds. We need to act now to protect these creatures and maintain biodiversity in Alaska's marine environment. In the national park, more than 100,000 shorebirds and dunlins gather each season. They find ideal breeding grounds along rocky shores, marshes, and nutrient-rich mudflats. However, climate change is posing significant challenges. The loss of sea ice and the decreasing food sources are altering their habitats, directly affecting the success of their breeding and survival rates. Rare species like the Clet's murre are facing the risk of extinction as their coastal breeding grounds are rapidly disappearing. This is not only an issue of survival for a few species, but a disruption of the entire food chain and ecosystem in Alaska. While Alaska's wildlife struggles to adapt and survive in its harsh natural environment, human presence is increasingly on the rise. Smoke from oil and gas extraction plants paints hazy streaks across what was once clear skies, and industrial projects continue to expand, cutting through natural ecosystems. Rising temperatures, melting ice, frequent natural disasters, and relentless resource extraction are changing the habitats of these species. These changes are having irreversible impacts, and without timely intervention, Alaska's ecosystems will continue to deteriorate, pushing many iconic species of the region closer to the brink of extinction. In response to these challenges, Alaska is making continuous efforts to protect its unique ecosystem. Conservation measures have been implemented to minimize human impact and ensure the survival of wildlife. One of the strongest strategies is the protection of vital habitats. The Arctic National Wildlife Refuge is a prime example. In 2023, Alaska's government limited oil extraction activities in this area, protecting species such as polar bears and gray wolves. These efforts aim to minimize the loss of habitats for species that depend on ice and cold temperatures. Among these conservation efforts, the recovery of the bowhead whale population in Alaska is a notable and inspiring story. A species that was nearly driven to extinction due to hunting for oil and blubber, the bowhead whale population had dwindled to about 1,000 individuals by the end of the 19th century. The establishment of the International Whaling Commission, IWC, and the ban on bowhead whale hunting marked a turning point in the species' recovery. In 2023, reports from NOAA indicated that the bowhead whale population had increased to over 16,000 individuals, a remarkable success. The story of the bowhead whale is an example of how responsible scientific action can recover and protect endangered species. Each of us can make a difference by using renewable energy, reducing plastic waste, and supporting wildlife conservation programs. If you have ever set foot in the Arctic, walked along the trails of the taiga forest, or heard the ocean winds of Alaska, don't hesitate to share your incredible experiences. Let your stories inspire the wildlife conservation community and help protect the Alaska ecosystem. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the Wild Kingdom Animal Documentary channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss any of the marvelous adventures where nature's stories are still waiting to be told. Welcome to Alaska, a wild land where the summer sun never sets, but the winter is immersed in the stillness of endless dark nights. Massive glaciers move slowly over the centuries, and the shining bays reflect the journey of survival in harsh conditions like giant mirrors under the sunlight.